Here's a new lawnmower, LTX 1042 Cub Cadet / MTD. I bought this in the beginning of summer. I've got 20 hours on it already. It's a good high-end cheap lawnmower. The LTX is because you got the high back seat, and I think there was one other feature on it, but otherwise the LT was just a low seat. And the new seats now, they're like a fabric mesh, so you don't really sweat. You don't get all, they don't get so hot when you sit on them, which I like. Comfortable seat, they're pretty good. I'm sure everybody that knows about the new Cubs, they know all about them. Plastic hood, that's so they don't sweat, rust, but they do crack easy, so you got to be careful. You don't want to run into trees. And then I went with the 1042 because I go through narrow tree lines and fence posts and things like that. I can squeeze in tight. And these have a crazy steering radius. They turn super tight. They can go. I can turn around large trees like fire pits. I can do 90-degree turns around landscape areas. Then I went with the bagger. That's a good investment to go with. They bag really well. They have real powerful, pretty good suction because they got that arc blade. So you get a good high vacuum going from the mower deck. It's not a power assist like a John Deere, but yeah, for the money. And then you got a 4-year warranty, like unlimited on the 2010s, and it's got a 5-year on the frame, front axle, rear transaxle. But for the money, you can't beat them. My neighbor has a 335 Deere, and it cuts just as good. When I got it though, it didn't have I had to do an alignment, and the deck was way out of whack. It was cutting a little bit on the high on the right side, so I had to adjust the deck height, and then on the front it was sitting too high. But they're a really good mower, and it's got the Courage, Kohler Courage 19 horse, which is a really good little single. It's the smoothest. It was smoother running than the Cowies, the Briggs, and the Kohler V twins. And it puts out 36 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty impressive for a 19 one-banger. And it puts peak power at 3,600 RPMs, but it's smoother than anything, and that's because they put counterbalancers. They had a lot of issues with this motor a few years back, and then they ironed them out because it started to backfire them. And I think they were a China-built Courage. Now they got smart and they're building them here now, so they're a good motor. The issues they're having is flywheels were flying off them, cam gears were stripping off, and then they would get cracks on the crankcase. Anyways, that's the new, they're better now. I haven't had any issues. Got 20 hours on it. And then I'm going to switch to synthetic here after my next oil change and stick with synthetic. Just squeeze as much life out of that as I can. But that's the new Cub. I'll post a little video of me doing a little circle on it, show how tight it turns. And then I bought a new bercomac attachment snowblower. So I'll make a video of that snowblower on there in action. These are kicking snowblowers. Nothing compares to these Bercos except, of course, Honda walk-behinds. But there it is, 2010 1042 LTX. Thanks for watching.